Hey, Mr. MiyagiStyle. I am coming to you from my car. I'm just driving to do a couple errands today. Today we're going to talk about the Insta360 GPS preview remote with the built-in mic. I've got the windows open. I've got my sunroof open. I've got the wind flying around here. So the mic is right here on my seatbelt, and I've got the dead cat on the mic. So let's see how this sounds. So far, I've been really liking this mic. I've had some time to test it out. I want to make this video very short, because I know the last Go Ultra video took forever. It's like watching the sequel to the Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna go through with you a few important things that I think my viewers were asking for. Very quick unboxing, what comes with it, what I really like about the new updated accessories that come with it. In my opinion, this is actually the most versatile accessory that I have in my bag right now. I'm reading a lot of comments about people, oh, this is so expensive, it's too pricey. You know what, guys? My motto is buy what you can afford. If you don't need it, you don't have to buy it, but don't complain about it, right? Because if you look at this remote, it is really the only one in its kind. There is no other remote like this. Even the GPS preview remote, there was really nothing that compared to it. If you look at the competition, they have remotes, but nothing compared close to the preview remote. Now this one just made it that much better. And you have to understand that this remote is actually 3 accessories in one. In Canada, I think it's $225 Canadian, which is not really bad, because look at the amount of money that we spend on accessories, i.e. microphone setups, lens mods, all types of different accessories, audio adapters, that kind of thing. If you factor those in, it's not really that much more expensive. And for me, this is a small module that has everything built right into it, and I can just bring this out without bringing 2 or 3 pieces out with me. So we have to really consider that. Is it an expensive accessory? If you really look at this, and I'm hoping to show you that, not really if you think about it, for what it does. If it's too expensive for you guys, there are alternatives out there. You can just go with the regular GPS preview remote. If you want the audio, if you buy that remote and you buy the Mic Air, you're about the same now in terms of the price. So if you have to think about it that way. Anyways, guys, I want to rant on here, but I'll jump to the close-up. See you on the flip side. Ciao. All right, guys, we're gonna do a quick what's in the box. I'm gonna show you what I really like about the general product itself and the accessories that come with it. You're gonna get the main remote. You're gonna get the dead cat. The dead cat actually is a little screw on top. Just put the dead cat in and just screw it on, and it's very easy to twist it off. And then you get the watch strap for this, and the clip, the shirt clip for this one. And then you also get the handlebar mount with it. So you get all these things plus the manual itself. Now, I'm going to go through the accessories very quickly with you. Dead cat's a dead cat. It's pretty straightforward. I don't need to explain that to you too much. So the accessories that come with it is probably one of my favorite updates from the original preview remote. I'm going to start off with the most important part, which is the watch strap. Look how thin this thing is, and it's just such a nice design, and it's very light, it's very slim compared with the old one. This is the old one right here with the original preview remote. And like if you look at the form factor, it's really hard to get off. It does this. It's just a pain. It's very cumbersome. It's very thick. If you compare the two side by side, look at the difference between the two. That's much more comfortable on my wrist when I have the remote on rather than this. And to get it on is so much easier, whereas this one you kind of have to slide it into the silicone boot and get that remote in. Getting it out, I've had it fly out of my hand a few times with it, right? So that is such a big improvement. The neat thing about this one is to get it on, you're not fiddling around with this silicone boot trying to get the remote in, trying to get it out. It's even tougher. This one is very simple. So you'll see that on the design here, the two are very similar in terms of size, okay? Other than the obvious, the buttons and the mic. And this one has the speaker on the side, on this side, and it has an actual operating light, recording light on the other side. One of the biggest changes of the remote is they've now gone away from the proprietary charging. They've gone with the standard USB-C charging port, which is great. So those are the big changes. You'll also see that on the top and bottom, there's like these little indents. So that is now the mounting, the main mounting system on this. So it relies on that to mount on the actual watch piece, the band. So you clip it in and you hook it all to the top one. You pull this one here. There's a little tab that you pull up, and you slide that one and the tab goes in and it locks it in. So this is such a nicer fit on your wrist. It actually looks almost feel like the Apple Watches. So it's much nicer, and it sits more slim on your wrist. It doesn't look like a great big thing on your wrist. And to get it off, it's just simple pulling this tab to unlock it, and you pull it out and you slide it out, and there comes the remote. Very simple to get in and very simple to get out. This is awesome. I'll be using this a lot. I didn't really like using this just because it was so cumbersome. The other thing is the roll bar or pole mount or handlebar mount. So the old one was like a watch. It was just like a watch strap, and again, you're dealing with that silicone piece, getting it in and getting it out. One of the worst things about this one right here is because there is no charging port open. This one, the wrist one does, so you can charge it while it's still in the wristband. This one, there's no way of charging it. You have to pull the whole remote out to charge it. Whereas you don't have to worry about this now, because this is similar. It goes on a roll bar or handlebar, and it just uses that similar elastic band to just lock it into the handlebar. And again, the two notches on the top and the bottom. You go in the top, wrong remote. Go on the top, slide it in. This one's actually a little bit better. This one you just actually slide it in and you press down and it locks in as a button here, okay? And that goes onto your handlebar. And to pull it out, you just press the button and it simply pops right out, okay? They give you the actual, this was not really included with the original preview remote. So they gave you the extra clip, which is like a belt clip or shirt clip or hat clip. Similar idea as the roll bar or the handlebar clip. You just pop it in the top, press it down, and it clicks on. And this is one I use the most because it just for shirts and stuff like that, right? So I'm gonna turn this guy on here. Left button is power button, center hole is the speaker, and then the right one is the record button, okay? I've got it paired up with my Ace Pro 2, so it should automatically turn on my Ace Pro and connect. With the original preview remote, it's got a bit of an attitude on its own. It doesn't like sometimes to connect to either my X5 or the Ace Pro 2. This one actually connects very seamlessly, and it's connected, right? And it connects very quickly. And you'll notice that almost goes into this mode right here. Let me explain a little bit, and you've probably seen it in reviews already. There's only two ways to record from this remote, okay? One is by using this as the, like the original preview remote, as a remote control. You can change the view, change the settings, everything. And that goes in, if you look at the button, there's two icons on the top. One's a camera icon, one's a microphone icon, okay? To use it just like the original preview remote, just to record, and you can do your settings here, change your FOV, and swipe over. You got the settings here, swipe over there, change the video mode, again, just like the original preview. Now, why the two modes? This mode only records using this camera's mic. It does not use the built-in microphone here. You have to switch it to the microphone icon, and oops, I didn't hit it. And you'll see this here come up, and it's the voice tabs, and that tells you that now you are using this as a microphone recording with the camera that's connected to, okay? And you just simply press that and it starts to record. Now, the neat thing about this is how this works is, as this recording, it's pretty neat, you can actually change your wallpaper. So when it goes into sleep mode, when you're recording, this shows, and you just press it and you'll see it back into the voice tab mode. Now, when you record off this, it simply records using the camera video recording, obviously. It also records the audio using this mic here, okay? And it also, you can set it to dual mic audio, just like the Mic Air. So you can actually record here and also record on the camera. You can just mix it later on in post. The coolest thing about this is what it's doing is it's recording on here, but it's actually recording internally, and it's automatically syncing it to the camera video. So let's say if I shut this off, if I stop recording, this stops recording, right? And not only did the video that's recording on here has the audio from this mic, it's synced already and saved on this camera, but I can also go into the camera or the remote here. If I go into settings, there's this part here with storage management, and the internal memory, which is about 5.5 gig, I think 5.5 to 6 gig, the audio files are actually in here. You'll see a bunch of audio files on here in WAV format. So what I just recorded also records a backup audio file of that video on here. So for some weird reason you lose the audio or something happened here, you can actually take that audio and resync it back in post. On here you can actually go and do file management, go and delete all the audio and stuff and just do a format and that kind of stuff, right? I wish and they had this feature, which they don't. I've actually suggested this to Insta360. Hopefully they'll bring this in the future firmware. The DJI Mic 2, it allows me to use my mic independently, meaning that I can actually turn on, start recording audio, and then turn it off, and I can download that audio later on and use it in post, okay? This does not do that. And it's strange that it doesn't, because it has all the features of the Mic 2, like 32-bit float, internal memory, recording, but it doesn't allow me to just turn on record using this without having to go through a camera, okay? For you to record audio on this, it has to be connected to a camera. And I think they should be able to bring that in future firmware updates. So I put in my my request, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to go through the interface really quick. The interface is pretty straightforward. You have the wake up, start, the brightness, basically like the original preview remote. The really new things is the audio recording settings, because it does have the mic built in. You have AI noise reduction. Remember the wallpaper? You can actually set your own wallpapers on this. Within the Insta360 app, you sync it through there. Once you connect, it automatically syncs the wallpaper onto the internal memory of this. So I have a couple of wallpapers. I have this one, and I have my Miyagi logo. It has the low cut option, and it also has the gain option. Your bit depth, I just set as default to 32-bit as opposed to 24. Your local backup, the internal memory where the audio files are kept. You can use this as voice control as well. Other than that, the rest is pretty straightforward. It does come with the basic features, like the old remote. It has the compass, it has a speedometer, so you can actually have two cameras connected to the remote, but you can only use one at a time, right? Meaning that you would have to connect and disconnect to the other camera to use the features, to do the settings and do your recording. It seems it connects to the next camera. Like I have the X5 and the X Pro 2 on there, and it seems to connect to either one of those seamlessly without any issues. This one is a little temperamental. Sometimes it'll connect, some will just time out, won't connect, right? And this one, I haven't had that issue. So they must have upgraded the internal workings for this to connect a little bit better. Anyways, we'll jump to the other segment, and we'll go from there. All right, we are doing mic tests. So I have got the Mic Air connected to the X5, and I've got the GPS preview remote with built-in mic connected to the Ace Pro 2. I've got the Ultra and all in pure video mode. So I'm going to go out, and I'm going to go through the store and see what the reception is like between the two mics and see which one is better. I'm going to do a distance test. I'm going to go out farther to the end, and then I'm going to go to the left and go out of line of sight and see how it works. All right, here we go. So we're testing the mic right now. We're going and closing the door. You guys get to check out my awesome testing studio, my backyard. All right, I'm going to go out to the very back of the yard and see what that sounds like. My back is turned to the mics, so let's see how this sounds. So I don't know if you can see it with the pure video mode, but I am at the back, so I would say I'm about 30 feet away from the cameras, and the cameras is behind the closed patio door. So I'm going to move to the side. I'm going to go out of line of sight to the side of the house, and that's about 40 feet, 50 feet away. So I'm going to go to the end here. I'm going to keep talking. So I'm kind of walking away from the cameras. Okay, I'm going to go down there. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the side of the house, see if the mic is still picking me up, see what the range is like, and see what it's like behind closed doors. I'm going to keep talking. It's pretty dark out here. Okay, I'm going to go back here to the end. So I'm pretty far. I'm around the house on the side of the house. And coming back, let me get too closer. There's some animal there is going to attack me. So, from what I've seen in the videos of other people, the GP preview remote with the mic, the distance is actually really good on it. So it actually uses the internal recording and basically syncs with the actual camera. So if it goes out of range, the 32-bit internal recording takes over. And then when you go back, it syncs it back to the camera. So which is kind of neat. All right, I'm coming back. That's it. Not bad range. I don't think I'll ever go beyond this kind of range anyways with these mics. So I'm coming back to the recording. I'm back. All right, let's see how this looks, how it sounds. Close the door. For the subscribers that have asked me to do this, and for the viewers that are new to this and don't know how to do this, I'm going to go step-by-step instructions how to bring in a video that you recorded using a GPS preview remote. You could use the older remote, you could use the ones without the preview, or you could use a new one that has the mic built in. They all work pretty much essentially the same. You have to install the Insta360 Studio app. It is free. It comes with a ton of features. So I'll go through it with you. So you see on the interface right here, we've got the Insta Studio installed. The X5 are broken up into 2 file formats, and they're proprietary. Most 360s do this just because you have to do posts and do your post framing and then your stitching. The 2 formats is LRV and then INSV. You can load any one of those files and it'll bring in the entire video. So I've got the Studio desktop here. Right now this is untouched and it's in pure video mode. So there's a couple things you can do, and normally what I do is I go through the colors and I just go on the right hand side here and I click on one of these icons. You can start with the top one, okay? And this is the stabilization type. So you go directional lock, tilt recovery, and jitter restoration. Typically I don't have to touch this with the X5 videos. I'll just briefly go through this. This is just the lens accessories assembly. If it has a lens guard on it, if it has invisible dive case, etc., etc., thermal grip, and then you move one down. This is where you get into the color. This is where I will touch up a little bit. And typically, what I only have to do with Insta360 camera, and this is the reason why I love them. There's really not a lot of color processing you have to do post. All I have to do with this, and it does a very good job with the Insta360 app, is all you do is click on the color plus. It actually looks a little bit better now. It brightens it up a little bit, adds a little bit of contrast, dynamic range in there. So it looks actually pretty good. You can tweak the colors a little bit if you really want to. There's a clarity plus. You cannot use clarity plus with color plus. It's one or the other. I could probably play with it a little bit, but I'm not going to for the sake of this video. I want to keep it short. Then you have your motion ND to create that ND effect on the sides. And then you have the Aquavision 3.0, which is for underwater and scuba diving. We're going to move on. This is the audio mode. I'm not going to play with that. And then you can add watermarks to your video if you want to. I don't want to. And then the final one here I'm going to show you is the one that we're going to be looking at specifically, which is stats. And the stats is pretty neat. Now with X5 with 360, what I really love about the X5 360 is if you have a video here, this is a 20 gig video, so it's rather long, and I want to condense this video down. And to condense this video down, I'm going to shorten my timeline here. You drag that right tab, drag it over, and then you're basically cropping your video to, let's say, 1 minute. Okay, so this is 1 minute worth of video right here. Okay, I'm just going to expand it a little bit so I can see a little bit better. And starting from the beginning here, I'm just going to start the video. You can see my video moving right now. I'm going to turn the sound off. I don't need the sound. The nice thing about the 360, it allows me to post frame. What that basically means is in 360, you're shooting in a 360 environment where you're completely infinite horizontally and vertically. I can switch it to 9:16, I can switch it to 1:1, I can switch it to 4:3, and I can also switch it to 2.35 by, which is a wide screen. But I normally work in 16:9, which is the standard. So I'm in this right now, and the one thing you have to do is you have to add a keyframe. Right now it defaults to where the camera is pointing, so my camera lens is pointing forward. And I can flip it so it does a selfie, but I've got it pointing forward. Until you change it, this is where you post frame. Let's say if I want to go forward and I want to eventually pan to my left hand side. With a typical action camera, you can't do that. It doesn't record anything behind it, beside it, on top of it, below it, right? And this is where the 360 comes in really handy. If I see something on the left hand side I want to capture instead, I can actually pan this over to the side that I want. I can even do it myself, but I can pan over to the side, and I can film this side of the view and just add a keyframe and lock it into either ultra, mega. I usually do ultra. Okay, you can do tiny planet if you want for the effect, and you can do crystal ball, right? But let's do this for ultra. So I want to film the left side, and once you add the keyframe, you'll see in the bottom left hand corner here. Oh, my face is in the way. Let me smooth this up over a little bit so you can see on the bottom left hand corner here, there's a little pen with a little yellow circle. So that's your keyframe. That is the next keyframe. And you can keep adding keyframes as you go. You'll notice that where I add the keyframe is where the direction of the camera will be pointing from now on, which is on my left side, until you change it again. I can add another keyframe, right? And I'll use ultra view, and I'm going to move it with my mouse and go this way on the right hand side. And I'll just omit my wife there, so I don't think she wants to be in this. Okay, so now I've got a second keyframe that points to the right hand side. So let's go to a third keyframe. I'll pick somewhere randomly, and I want to go back to the center. Okay, or I can do a selfie mode. Let's do a selfie mode. I'm going to point to myself and look at my ugly face, and then I'll add a keyframe as well. So once I'm tired of looking at my face, I can click on another point of the video, and I'll go back to the front view. So use your mouse to drag to the original view, hit the keyframe, and it'll stay at that view, and it'll stay at that view until the end of the video, until you add another keyframe. Okay, so let's take a quickly. So we're gonna go back to the beginning, and you'll see what I mean by that with all the keyframes. And watch the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it here. I got my probably not a good position to put my face down the bottom. I'll move it here in the corner. So watch down here, and watch as that play position moves to those individual keyframes, and see how my frame changes views, right? And this is what they mean by and post framing to whatever you want. So technically, one video can give you unlimited viewpoints, okay, in a 360-degree sphere. So let's say if I'm filming something, I'm water skiing and I'm filming forward, and I find something interesting behind me, I can take that same video and turn it around and just keyframe the back, film an excerpt of that, export it out, and I can merge the video together and make it into sort of a movie, front, back, left view, that kind of thing. And that's all done with one single recorded video. Okay, I'm not with an action camera. You would have to film or multiple segments of that video. And this is why I like the 360, and it's just going to get better, right? So you'll see it how it's panning according to that keyframe. So it's going to go back, but it's going to go back all the way to the right. So by the time it hits that keyframe, it should be on where I dropped the keyframe to the right hand side. And now it's going to go towards me, and it's going to land where I am, where I dropped the keyframe. And then it's going to pan back to the center again, the default view. Now you'll notice that it's actually one continuous curve. You can actually make stops. You can stop at one keyframe, let it sit there for a long time, and then move to the next keyframe, you know, a minute down the video. So that gives you an idea. So let's say I want to go to the beginning of this. I want to add stats to this. Stats, you have to go to the right hand side. Okay, go down to the third icon from the bottom, and it's a pedometer gauge on your car. It just says stats. Click on stats. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. Play with it and do some exports. There's different ones, and you'll notice that these are the templates. When I click on these, nothing happens, right? Because I have none of the data switches activated. So let's activate some of the data. Let's activate all of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see it on my screen? Now it all shows up green now. So I have the pace, I have the acceleration on top, inclination, the route, vision, etc., right? You'll see the longitude and time is overlapping, and I'll show you how to fix that. Okay, and my favorite one is this one right here, which is the speed theme, because it's just minimalistic. I don't like big chunks of stuff on my screen because I want to be able to see the video and the scenery while I'm driving. Sorry about that. My email keeps going off here, guys. Let me shut off my notification here. It's annoying. All right, I'm snooze, but so you'll see all the stuff that's on the data switch on the right hand side is all the stuff that's on your screen. I don't need all of them. I can take tilt angle out. I don't need pace. I'm not running. You'll notice I dropped one over the overlaps. The coolest thing about with stats is you can actually pick one. Okay, so you can move your stats around to your liking. You can move over here if you want. Keep it over here. You can move this down if you want, and move there. So it moves everything out of the way for you. And over down at the bottom gives you a little bit more detail. So let's say if I want to make this one a little bit bigger, I could just use the size and make it a little bit bigger, right? Make it massive like this one. Or go back to a smaller size, right? You can make it opacity, so just kind of like a hint, a transparent type of a stats, and you can change the metric units to imperial or system if you're miles per hour, kilometer. We're metric, so you get a little bit of a customization for each of those data switches on here, which is kind of cool actually. Once you're done with this, you're pretty much done. And you just basically export. It's already just a quick brief explanation of this part of your export settings. Your file name, pretty simple. You're not exporting as a 360 video. You're just exporting as a static video. The bitrate's a big thing. It defaults to 50, which is probably, I would say, normal to just a little below quality. Bitrate is going to determine your quality of your video. Okay, the higher the bitrate, the better the quality of your video is going to be. Now, the problem with that is the higher the bitrate, the better the quality of video, the bigger your file size is going to be. And you can just look down here, and it estimates how big the file size is at 50 bitrate, 4K. At H.264. Okay, typically with X5 I do anywhere from between 80 to 100. So let's do 100, and you'll notice that, look at the file size now. It's now almost twice the size. It's at 740 megabytes for the file size. Frame rate is going to be at 30 because I was shooting at 30 at 8K. And then you can do H.264, H.265. You can go ProRes, ProRes 422 LT, and ProRes 422. I typically stick with H.264 and H.265. If you do ProRes, this is probably the highest resolution, but look at this file size. So we went from 738 megabytes to, if you go to ProRes, 2.9, get almost 3 gigabytes for that file size. That's huge. And this one's even more. This is 4.3. If you want the absolute best, highest resolution, you want to go with the ProRes settings. But H.265 is pretty standard, especially for social media, YouTube, that kind of thing. Even for sharing, that's pretty fine. The other thing you want to do is, if you want to pinpoint your location and map it, put it on a map, Google Maps or Garmin Maps, or anything like that, you can actually export the data switches and the data that was created by the preview remote in a GPX file. GPX file is actually a file that has all the coordinates on it. And so you can take that file, import it into a map software or online mapping system, and actually you can plot your trip on a map, and it shows you the path and everything, all the information, right? So it's basically all the GPS information that's in a file format. Anyways, once we're done that, we just hit export. Now, I'm not gonna do it right now because I did it before and I crashed my obligates system that I'm using to do this tutorial on. So I've already exported. I'll give you an example of what it looks like. Okay, so once I've exported, it should look like this. This is the video that's playing right now. Okay, and I'll make it small so you can actually see. Can you guys see? Okay, good. So remember the stats on the left-hand side. We move the one of the switches up a little bit, the gradient switch, so everything is where it should be. Yeah, your directions on the top. Pretty straightforward, guys. That's it for this segment. I hope you guys learned something, and I really like this remote, guys. A very unique device. Like I said before, it is one of its kind. There is no remote out in the market like this. I want to thank Insta360 for sending the remote out to me to test out, so that I can actually share my experiences with you guys and what I liked and what I don't like about it. And to be honest, there's really not much I don't like it. And to have all those options within a microphone, with the GPS, the remote control, the full screen, touch screen, you got the compass, the speedometer, like it's just filled with features, and like I said, there's nothing like it out in the market right now. If there's any question, guys, if you're not sure about something, if you want to learn a little bit more about embedding stats onto your video, if you're confused about something, just drop me a comment down below, guys. I'd be happy to help you out. If you want to do more tutorials of the Insta360 Studio app, I'd be happy to do that, doing into color grading, corrections, especially when it comes to underwater. Using the new Aqua Vision 3.0, the Aqua 3.0 is really cool. They upgraded that about 2 upgrades ago, and it's added so many more options for underwater color correction. But yeah, guys, that's it for today, and have a great one, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Ciao.